Welcome to everyone who's watching Mamarga Gasav TV. You're going to be with me, Princess Mujisha. And let's start with the news headlines. Minister of UN Nduhungirehe received the UN Refugee Agency in Rwanda representative for a farewell as she concludes her tour on duty. Unmiss Force Commander commends Rwandan Peacekeepers for fostering stability in operation area. On the international scene, the Ecowas chief makes surprise visit to Burkina Faso. Let's take a short break to be back into the news details. Welcome back into the news details, and let's start our news in Rwanda, where the Rwanda Defense Force 5th Infantry Division and the Tanzania People's Defense Force 202 Infantry Brigade convey the 13th Proximity Commander Security meeting from 17 to 19 September 2025 in Ngara District, Kagera Region, Tanzania. The meeting brings together military commanders deployed along the shared border to address the key security challenges and enhance cross-border cooperation. Turning to our next story, Minister Olivier Nduhungirehe also received the UN Assistant Secretary General and the Group Director General of African Risk Capacity and his delegation for the Coast Call discussion focused on strengthening partnership between Rwanda and African Risk Capacity Group. Also, Minister Olivier Nduhungirehe received the UN Refugee Agency in Rwanda representative for a farewell call as she concludes her duty tour to Rwanda. Now let's turn our focus to this story where the United Nations mission in South Sudan, Force Commander Lieutenant on Wednesday began a 2-day official visit to the Rwanda Bat-1 contingent on Wednesday at the UN Tomping Base Camp in Juba. He will also visit their fellow force stationed in eastern Equatorial State, South Sudan on 18th September 2025. Upon arrival, the force commander was received by the Rwanda Bat contingent commander Lieutenant Paul, who briefly took him through on major operations conducted, including protection of civilians and provision of force protection to humanitarian assistance. While interacting with the troops, the force commander commanded the efforts to Unmiss mandate and their role in fostering peace and stability in their area of responsibility. He further encouraged them to continue exemplary ambassadors and the professional disciplinary army role models to the community of South Sudan. The force commander visit concluded with a symbolic planting of a tree. Let's take a short break to be back into the international news.
Welcome to Albert.
Let's take a look into the international news where years of inadequate control have enabled Hamas to radicalize an entire generation of Palestinian youth in Gaza and schools. As executive director of the UN Watch leveled the accusation at the UN and donor countries such as Germany at a press conference in Berlin on Wednesday. Sandra Tumkund proceeds.
Start on African news. Sierra Leone's President Julius Maada Bio has become the first leader of West African bloc Ecowas to visit a member of Sahelyan areas of state in a move analysts say signals turning point in a relation. Bio, who took over the chairmanship of Ecowas in June, met Tuesday with Burkina Faso's junta leader Captain Ibrahim Traoré at the presidential palace in Kourouba. According to Sierra Leone's State House, Bio committed to fostering closer ties and cooperation between ECOWAS and Sahel Alliance during the one-day visit where he vowed to make sure that peace returns to Burkina Faso. In a video posted on President Bio's X, he said, "I am here to show my solidarity with the people of Burkina Faso, to tell them that they are not alone and we are together, we work together to restore peace." This comes after tense relations between the AES bloc and ECOWAS. The junta-led West African nationals of Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso formally withdrew from the regional bloc known as ECOWAS in January this year. State media in Burkina Faso reported that the talks touched on regional security and international relations. As analysts said, the trip reflects a growing acceptance of the Blockway bloc. In a post on social media, Bio thanked Talawole for his hospitality. Now, turning to our next story on international news. US President Donald Trump praised the priceless and eternal US-UK ally and paid tribute to the royal family during a state banquet on Wednesday evening, calling the visit one of the highest honors of his life as he embarrassed a day full of British loyalty. In what is historic second state visit for the US leader, Trump said the world's special leadership does justice to the relationship between the transatlantic areas. He described them as two verses of the same poem, beautiful on the honor, but really meant to be played together. He also said they have done more good for humanity than any two countries in all history. The bond of kinship and identity between America and the United Kingdom is priceless and eternal, Trump said. Now, concluding our international news, let's go to another story. Years of inadequate control have enabled Hamas to judicially an entire generation of Palestinian youth in Gaza. In Unilwa school, Hileli Nuela, executive director of UN Watch, leveled this accusation at the UN and donor countries such as Germany at a press conference in Davos on Wednesday. UN Watch is a Geneva-based organization, and Nuela, who presented the indictment report, is a lawyer and staunch defender of Israel, is a non-critic of the actions of the United Nations Human Rights Council. The NGO has set itself the goal of exposing abuses at the United Nations and in particular double standards toward Israel. The report shows the financial operation and personal links that, according to UN Watch, the UN Relief and Works Agency for Palestinian Refugees has maintained with Hamas. As early as 2011, the UNRWA Union in Gaza and the leadership of Sahara Al-Hind vehemently rejected the UNRWA management's plan to introduce Holocaust lesson in school. At his farewell sermon in April 2017, Al-Hindi was praised for speaking out against Holocaust education. Saula Sandra Tumukunde, Mama Urwaga Sabo TV.
As we come to the end of the news edition today, let's go back with the news headlines. Minister Olivier Nduhungirehe received the UN Refugee Agency in Rwanda representative for a farewell call as she concludes a duty tour on Rwanda. Unmiss Force Commander commends Rwandan peacekeepers for fostering stability in operation areas. And the international scene, the Ecowas chief makes a surprise visit to Burkina Faso. Thanks for having me. Stay tuned.